Well, welcome into this week's recruiting report. And as you can see, as always, joined by our Otis Kirk, who is always in the know when it comes to Hogs recruiting. So let's get to it, Otis. Big weekend on the Hill for the football team and guys on campus that they're very interested in getting looks at. And the first one is Jordan Dominic. He had his official visit. He's a part of
Yeah.
that 2022 class.
Yeah. A transfer from Georgia Tech. He's a grad transfer, big time defensive end. Let's see, 6'3". We've been reporting him at 235, but he's actually 253. I say I've been reporting at 235. Listen, but he's at 253. And you can look at him, and I saw him this morning. He's not 235. This kid played well at Georgia Tech. He went into the portal, a few weeks ago, and Arkansas was the first offer for him. And then after that, it just kind of like Ridgeway last year. The offers just started pouring in, and he's got another official visit, to Auburn in 2 weeks. Right now, that's it. And he wants to play in the SEC, but it's not like it's a deal breaker. It's preferably his dad played at Florida, by the way. He went to a junior college and then transferred to Florida. His dad, but Jordan had 38 tackles. 18 solos, 5.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, 4 quarterback hurries, 3 fumbles. And the one he recovered, he returned it, I want to say 70 yards for a touchdown. He returned it for a touchdown. I want to say it was 70 yards. I may be off on the yardage, but anyway, he had a touchdown on the fumble recovery, and he looked good running. And by the way, in the story that's on Pig Trail Nation and Hogville today, there's video of him actually returning that fumble for a touchdown. So this is a kid that if Arkansas can give him, they've got 3 scholarships left, Alyssa. Obviously, this would take one of them if they can get him. And his timeline is rough. He wants to sign and be committed to sign by May the 1st, preferably sooner, he said. And in the story that I wrote today, there's 2 links to previous stories that I've written on the kid. I wrote one when they offered. I wrote one when he announced he was going to visit here. So got 3 stories there. If you missed them, highlight, like I said, of him playing, plus the fumble recovery for the fumble return for a touchdown. So pretty good stuff there. And if you want to check it out, it's there at our sites.
I love it. All right. As always, this last name might ring a bell for some Razorback
I
fans.
bet it
And
does.
Ryan Wingo is Ronnie Wingo's little brother, and he's looking for a spot to play ball.
Yeah, and he's a 10th grader, and he's 6'2", 198. So I don't know if he's little or not. But I know what you said. But yeah, he's 6'2", 198, so he's not very little. But yeah, this kid's a 2024 prospect. He was here for a prospect day yesterday. He had 32 catches for 638 yards and 15 touchdowns. And I get this, Alyssa, he averaged 46.5 yards per kickoff return last year.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Sam Pittman and Scott Fountain are looking at that and thinking, whoo, and Kenny Guyton, they're looking at that and saying,
Hello.
bring it on. He's got offers just about everywhere. He went to the baseball games. He got to see his first home run yesterday. I don't know if he meant first college home run, first home run ever. I don't know. But he said he got to see his first home run yesterday. So he went to the Arkansas baseball game after the prospect day. But this kid's a 4-star. He's going to be able to go anywhere he wants to go. He's trying to get back for the spring game, or I don't know if it's spring game, the open practice on April 16th, the final practice. He's trying to get back for that. And he said he plans on making that if he can. He was headed this way one time before, and he broke. Well, they didn't break down. I'm sorry. They had ice on the roads, the snow during one of them heavy winter storms, and they turned around and went back home because it wasn't worth it, to try to drive from St. Louis. He plays at University High School. And but this is a kid that his brother played here. He said it doesn't bother him if he follows his brother. Some people want to do that, some don't. He said he followed him in high school. So he said it's really not, that's not a factor. It's not going, maybe not a plus, but it's certainly not a negative. So I think that's good for our girl. Sam Pittman showed him a lot of attention yesterday. And I think Arkansas's got a good chance there.
Nice.
But Ronnie was a good running back here. And so we'll see what happens with Ryan Wingo, but that's a name to keep in mind. He's just a sophomore, but keep that one in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Joshua Manning, and as you talk about prospect camp, a big day for him yesterday, and he's got some U of A connections as well.
Yeah, he's from Lee Summit, 6'3", 190, a wide receiver. And now we're on 2023. We've gone from 2022 to 2024 to 2023,
Yeah.
and later on we're
Hope
going
you're
on
keeping up at home.
2025. I'm bouncing around. This
It's
drives this.
okay.
It's a wonder my mind even works anymore. I got all these numbers. I mean, we're dealing with 4 or 5 different years right now. But
Mhm.
Joshua Manning's a wide receiver. His mother was Roxanne McCrory at the time. She was a star basketball player for Gary Blair and them over there at the basketball team from 1995 to 97. So he's got ties with his mother going to U of A. He loves the U of A because it's close. He's got some other offers, obviously, but he had 69 receptions for 900 yards, 11 touchdowns, rushed 12 times for 64 yards, and he wasn't too shabby on kickoff returns. He was 7 returns, 294 yards. That's 42 yards a return. So, like I said about Ryan Wingo, I can just see that Scott Bowden and Sam Pittman, those guys, and gotten her looking at these kids as kickoff returners, maybe too, because they're doing something right back there. I mean, they've got those are, great averages, obviously. I mean, almost unheard of. But they've got speed, and that's what makes a difference in high school. And Manning, the thing I like about him, really, I really like there's a lot of things, but let me clarify that. But I like these 6'3", and if you watch his video, and it's in the story that I wrote earlier on Pig Trail Nation Hogville, you can look at the video down there at the bottom and watch him win the 50-50 balls. This kid's a long jumper in track. And I asked him, I said, is that something you might look at if you come to Arkansas or wherever you go? And he said, probably going to concentrate on football, but it depends on how well his track season goes this year. But he right now he's leaning to concentrating on football, but track's not out of the question yet. But he's a good long jumper, very athletic, 6'3", 190. You love that size. For a receiver. Most cornerbacks are not that big, but this kid's not only tall and fast and big, he's athletic and can jump. And like I said, if you watch the video, fans, watch him win those 50-50 balls. He gets them all. It's 100-0 with him. It's not 50-50. It's 100-0 with Joshua. He is good. And
I love it.
If he's anything like his mother, he's going to be really good.
Hey, it sounds like he has ups like his mom.
Yeah, and she can play. Gary had her, a weird story, and I'll be real quick with this because it's really not anything to do with it. But when I first moved up here, I was neighbors. I lived in an apartment for 4 months, and I was neighbors with her teammate and one of her best friends. Nice. And I was telling them about that when I'm on the phone with them. It's crazy. It's a small world.
Small world.
It's so crazy. I next door neighbor to her teammate,
Wow.
and good friend.
Small world. Well, obviously a very good prospect day for 4 other kids who got offers as well. Tell us about them.
Yeah, 2025, I promised that. Okay, on Buford, Georgia, linebacker, Mantrez Walker. He is a kid that plays fullback and linebacker down at Buford, but he's going to be a linebacker in college. Mike Shearer offered him yesterday. I ain't going to say nobody, hardly anybody uses fullback anymore. This kid is a linebacker, and he's about 6 foot 210 in the 9th grade. And so he's got a great future ahead of him. Arkansas is his first D1 offer. I believe he's got an offer to West Georgia. But don't let that fool you. He's in the 9th grade. The offers are going to come.
Yeah.
I was a little bit surprised Arkansas offered him yesterday in the fact that he's 25, but
if you like a kid, you like a kid.
Well, that's the thing. And this staff doesn't shy away from doing that. And I'm getting used to that because they offered the quarterback at Greenwood who's in the 8th grade.
Right.
I like it. I'm not being critical. I like it. I'm just saying I'm having to adapt to the use of them doing that. And I like it. There was 2 2023, the next 3 kids that got offered are all 2023. There's 2 offensive linemen from Tennessee that Cody Kennedy probably tried to barricade and keep here and not let go back home. But Luke Brown from Paris, Henry County in Tennessee, and then Joe Crocker from Nashville Franklin Road Academy. And both of them are about 6'6", 300 to 310 pounds. They're in that range. They're kids that you and I are glad we don't have to feed, Alyssa.
For sure.
But no, Luke Brown and Joe Crocker, like I said, they're both from Tennessee, and they're both 4 stars. And they're about 6'6", 300, 310, depending on their weight.
Wow.
But yeah, they're big kids. I actually met Luke Brown. I didn't get to meet Crocker, but I met Luke Brown, and he is a big kid. Well, obviously, I mean, those sizes are pretty legit. And the
Yeah.
last one was Carson Dean, a linebacker from down in Carrollton, Hebron, the same school. I believe it
Mhm.
produced Zach
That's
Rogers, other
yeah,
great
and
guys.
I believe Hebrew. That's where Dietrich Wise went, right?
You're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. And I believe that's the same one with Zach Rogers too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a popular school. It's a
Hmm.
known school. They've
Yeah.
sent some kids to Arkansas, and yeah, Carson Dean is a linebacker there. He can play. He can play rush in. He's 6'4", 235, and he's another kid that let me tell you, he runs sprints and track
Hmm.
at 6'4", 235, and you don't see that every day.
Right.
This kid can play edge rusher. He could be, he built a lot like Jordan Dominic,
Hmm.
but he's probably a little taller. But he's a linebacker, but he could also, if you want him to, he could play off that edge.
Yeah.
He reminds me a little bit of. I'll tell you who he reminds me of a little bit, Alyssa. Is Drew Sanders, the kid from Alabama that signed with Arkansas.
Yeah.
That's who he kind of. Sanders can
Okay.
do about the same thing. He's similar to that. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. He's a 4-star. Got a lot of offers. Arkansas jumped in on all 4 of those kids
Hmm.
yesterday. It's easy to see why. I mean, they passed the eyeball test,
Yeah.
and they're just good. They're obviously good players, and all of them but Walker have a bunch of other offers. And
Hmm.
like I said, he's in the 9th grade. His offers
They're coming. They're
yeah, and a
coming.
lot of schools don't offer kids that young.
Sure.
Like I said, in Arkansas in the past, they've kind of shied away. I'm proud Sam and them do. I mean,
Hmm.
like you said, if you like a kid
Yeah.
and you feel like he can play, why not get in the hunt for him? Why
Exactly.
wait? Because you may be behind if you wait. It's
Right.
that simple, in this day and
Exactly.
age of recruiting, and when everybody's offering early, getting early commitments and stuff. You wait, you may be behind by the time it happens. So you got to get
Yeah.
out there and get ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, of course, as you mentioned, Otis, all of this stuff you can find over on our website, hogville.net. Otis writing up all the articles with all the information that you need to know. Appreciate you, man, joining us on this Sunday, and we'll catch up with you next week for the latest news.
You have good
Thanks,
week,
Otis.
Alexis.